Hello everyone, my name is PAVA. I'm a serial product architect, and I would like to introduce you the VESdirector. I will be presenting the main features of the software, as well as in the second part, I will be showing you how easy it is to configure and set up the VESdirector. What's the VESdirector? Briefly, it's designed for daily operation and emergency communication, supplying the real-time monitoring and control for the multiple users. Main benefits of the software is providing the multilingual text-to-speech, live audio streaming, audio playlists with very fast access to the critical function, intuitive user interface. Just before we start, I would like to place the VESdirector software within our structure. Let's imagine we've got multiple buildings, and each of the building or site is equipped with the system. VESdirector or software can control the segment, the system, as well as be in the operational control center, let's say, and control all the segments in the system. Practically, when we talk about the local integration of the VESdirector, it works like a paging microphone, but in the software domain, but allows you to interconnect not only the one system, but many systems connected together. So I would like you to treat the VESdirector as a virtual, let's say, paging microphone with extra elements for the control between the systems. Few things which we have to remember before we start with the VESdirector is that VESdirector is a Windows 11 based software, or it is available on the Android devices as well. It is licensed. We provide 1 year, 5 year, and perpetual subscription for the software. You all more than welcome to download and try 90-day trial license. The procedure for getting the 90 days trial, as well as 1 year, 5 year, or perpetual subscription, it's the same way. You install the software. After the installation, you will get a license number, which this number you have to send that on the email license@ambientsystem.eu, and we will reply with the license key accordingly for your, let's say, order or trial version. Before we start with the VESdirector, it's worth remembering that 2 or 3 things has to be configured in the SmartVES, MiniVES, and MIDI-VES system before we implement VESdirector on the PC. First of all, on the system itself, we have to activate the virtual audio input. Why? Because all the audio coming through the microphone or in form of a playlist or text-to-speech is transferred from the software to system using the multicast stream. That's one thing. Two other are optional because some clients may not use that functionality, but I will mention that virtual inputs and virtual outputs. If you would like to have extended activation points of functions available for your clients, you have to configure virtual inputs on your system, as well as the virtual outputs if you would like to have a status, let's say, indication received on the VESdirector. And that's pretty much it in terms of the basis, what we have to prepare before we will connect to the system. After the installation and placing the license, that's the first window which we are coming across, login. Tip for everyone starting, administrator account. That's the first account which appears. Username is admin, password is admin as well. It's all lower cases. Remember, the system is based on the Cyber Resilience Act regulations, so it will force you to change the password using the strong password for not only for the administrator but for the users as well. So all those features are implemented in the VESdirector. Second element which appears during the first installation or starting process of the VESdirector is creating the project. Project allows us, actually, this is the folder which consists all the parameters like selection of the zones, virtual inputs, outputs, languages available for the text-to-speech. And that folder is quite important because if you've got multiple users accessing VESdirector, you can actually, thanks to the project, create individual access for the zones, virtual input, all the functions available in the VESdirector. And how that's created, basically each user can be attached to each individual project. Obviously, for the sake of the presentation, I will create one project file, and that project file will be used for all users across the software. Connection in the VESdirector is very simple. I will show you that in the real case, but just a quick overview of the screens and dashboards available on the VESdirector. We add the name of the system and IP address. The IP address is the address which is available on the WAN port, so you can access or check this IP on the selector software in the system connection, or if you set it up the static IP address, you have to place that static IP address to be able to connect with the system. When the connection is established, you will get the green indication that everything is okay, and you'll be able to go step by step in the system and fetch all the data from the from the system. And what you can fetch is zones available in the system, audio files. Audio files, it's basically everything what is stored internal into the internal memory of the system, including virtual inputs. You can fetch virtual outputs, and what's one of the most important elements is the multicast. So multicast, this is the crucial element of the VESdirector, because almost every single function is based or rely on that multicast connection to send audio from the software to the system. And bear in mind the virtual audio input has to be configured before we start with the VESdirector. Yeah, so it has to be activated in the system. When we finish fetching the data, we can structurize, let's say, what will be available for the client. And first page is a zone manager, sorry. So in zone manager, you've got two different views. One view is like blocks representing the individual zone or virtual group, which you can create in the software. So you can group any number of the zones within the system into the virtual group. And obviously you can color code that group and rearrange in terms of the order. The second view is what you can see in the center part of the screen. This is what we call waterfall view. It's the list of the zones, system name, statuses. Both actually views are representing the status. If the system is the zone is okay. If any fault appears, you will get the indication mark. As well as if you've got any audio playing or volume change, that indication that is indicated in the status as well. Then next elements available, obviously it's virtual inputs, output, faults, scheduler, intercom. Intercom, it's an additional function just added for integration with our intercoms, so you can use it as a group call. And virtual microphone, which I will show you later on. So you've got access to the zones of the system, either with the blocks or water flow, or you can choose the virtual microphone option available as well. The zone manager, it's quite important part of the VESdirector, because after selecting the zone or group or any elements on that section, you are getting access to the main features of that software, which are audio, start audio, text to speech, live, and multicast. And those elements, after selecting the zone, appears in the, let's say, ribbon on the right upper corner. So you've got a start, TTS, live, and multicast. Yeah. Obviously, the unique feature of the VESdirector is the availability to place the text and generate the file, audio file, which we call text-to-speech. We implement various languages, almost all Scandinavian languages, obviously English, German, French, Spanish, and we can Bulgarian, Romanian. We can add more if you ask for any requirements in that matter. The only hint on that point is that the internet connection is required for generating the text-to-speech. Yeah? So the VESdirector it has to have internet connection to be able to generate the text. Although you can generate that off, let's say, generate the file first and then being offline, but that requires slightly different functionality called implemented in the scheduler, let's say. The other, I think, useful function is the live speaking. So you can use the VESdirector as a virtual microphone where you can apply the chime. You can see the status of the connection, if all the zones from the chosen list are getting that live announcement, and you can actually close that connection. And so within the text-to-speech live multicast, that's one of the main features available in the system. Obviously, you can adjust or you can choose the source. So, for example, when I'm connected right now over the Bluetooth, you can use the Bluetooth microphone to speak to the system, to use as a microphone to speak to the system. You can adjust the volume, and that feature works between the segments, between different independent systems if they are added into the VESdirector. Multicast. What's the multicast? We call it, let's say, audio playlist. So you can add as many as you want audio files from located from on your PC and place it in the queue, and adjusting the, let's say, the loop number of the loops, you can create the playlist, which will be played as many times as specified in the repeat mode in the multicast setting. And virtual microphone. Virtual microphone, it's the element when alternatively, if you basically want to present or give the access to the dedicated zones or activation points in form of the microphone to the client. It is basically a template where we can easily add a number of the features to each of the button. That microphone as well has the up to 7 extensions. So that's the other way to get access to the functions which I mentioned before, which are text-to-speech, multicast, streaming, and live audio. So not only over the zone manager, but as well using the virtual microphone, that option is available. So we can add as many the extension or up to 7 extensions available in the system. The other function is the scheduler. Scheduler allows you actually to trigger the action in form of the virtual input activation, text-to-speech, so you can stack, let's say, different text-to-speech messages or different messages in different languages, and you can play it in a certain time in this or certain part of the week. And the most important difference between the having VESdirector and let's say the system scheduler is that element does not require any access to the configuration of the system itself. It works on the PC and connects with the system, but it's completely independent in terms of configuration and ease of changing those schedulers in the system. So obviously you can stack as many functions of different elements of based on the scheduler as you wish. Yeah? So you can add it different, let's say, sending different text-to-speech to the selection of the zones, different languages, adding the virtual input. So, for example, virtual input can activate the text on the display if you would like, or the other functions available in our system. You can as well add the pause from 3 seconds to 60 seconds, or you can create a custom action on every I don't know, scheduled time which you can imagine. And obviously on top of it, you've got the history, which allows you to see all the logs, if the user login, activation points, and so on, that are available in the history of the system. Very important element is the user management. So the user, as I mentioned before, has access to the project file. So project file defines if we've got access to the all the elements which we talked about the dashboard. So all the elements of the system, like select zone manager, virtual input, output, virtual microphone, or you would like to use the access to the selective functions of the VESdirector per user. So it's very easy to create the account, and I will show you how it works in the real situation, which I've got next to me. So let's switch to the system itself. I will just you can see this screen. So here you go. So that's the login page, the first page available in the VESdirector. I don't have any accounts created yet, so I will remember the first login is admin, and the password is admin as well. In my case, I log in before the webinar, so system forced me to change the password for the stronger one. I created before just the folder called HQ, and just selecting the HU, I can start, let's say, in the administrator mode, start adding elements to the system. First, you have to go to manager connection and add the system. So I've got the Miniverse next to me, and I know that the password is set to default as a static IP address, so 172.16.0.100. This is our default static address in the configuration software. When it's added, we have to connect to the system, and the green indication means you are connected. We are ready to get all the data from that system. So the next stage is just follow the let's say the horizontal line available. So zone manager configuration and fetch the list. System downloaded, let's say, the elements available in that system. So, okay, I would like to have access to internal speaker, okay, and speakers on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Save. Okay. Now, when we've got all those, when we checked the zones and we after downloading that from the system, we can create the group. Create the group, for example, let's call it all zones. Just add all zones, 5 elements. The virtual zone is created. Next, audio. If audio microphone. If we fetch the audio, we are getting the not only the messages stored in the system, which is, for example, DIN tone or message 1, but you are getting as well the analog inputs of the system. So you are able to activate, for example, a fire microphone or desktop microphone in the system from the VESdirector. Maybe it's not practical, but that's what we can do as well. So maybe I will add that microphone, and I've got the general microphone because it's the Miniverse. So you've got a microphone on the front panel, and hit save. So the system will have access to the certain messages stored in the memory and the microphones in the system, the analog microphones available in the system. Virtual inputs. For the sake of the demonstration, I added 3 virtual inputs. The virtual input 1 activates the alarm mode in the system. Virtual input 2 acknowledge the fault, and virtual input 3 it's a LED test. So I add all those elements. The same thing with the virtual inputs. I added acknowledge if the system is in the alarm mode, because the alarm mode can be activated from, most likely they are activated from the fire panel or any logical input available in the system. So it would be nice to have that indication, but in the real situation, you can add as many statuses available in the system in the virtual output and will be displayed in terms of the state: 0, not activated; 1, activated. I did busy zone as well, and general error. Hit save. And the multicast, which is the most important element. So as you can see, in my system called Miniverse, I've got 2 multicast available, virtual audio input 1 and 2. Bear in mind, each of the controller, each of the Miniverse and Midiverse is able to get up to 8 virtual audio inputs. So in the practical way, you can have at the same time, you could have 8 virtual VESdirectors speaking to the single Miniverse, because this is the number of the paths available, audio paths available in our network per control unit. The last the last 3 pages is the design for chime or gong. So you can add your custom chime if you want, which will be stored in the VESdirector folder. And can be used in the live announcement or any text-to-speeches actions. And obviously, view option, this is just for setting up the refresh intervals of the statuses of the zones, virtual inputs or virtual outputs in the system, and the number of the elements in terms of the zones per screen. If you would like to have a 3 long, let's say, big blocks, each block is a single zone or group, virtual group, or you can select to match to the resolution of your PC and the screen in the system. And that pretty much it in terms of getting the parameters from the system, and you ready to use the software, the VESdirector already. So we added all the elements, and now we are on the main dashboard. So in the main dashboard, you've got status of the system connection. Miniverse is online, and you've got your number of the zones, which we added before. Bear in mind, we can choose between waterfall view and the block view. We can reorder, let's say, the elements. So let's call it, that could be zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and internal. We can color code each of the blocks. So for example, virtual group is red, and all zones apart the internal speaker, let's mark as all the green, and this internal speaker as a blue. So very easy to rearrange the view in terms of the blocks, how many single zones of virtual inputs you are able to see in the system. Bear in mind, if we've got many different segments or systems connected, we can switch between all elements between the systems, or different different segments, different systems, and we can just by clicking on the icon, we can see only zones on the dedicated system itself. Moreover, when we move the arrow, the mouse on the all zones or on the virtual group, we've got the member. We see the members of that group as well as the statuses. So right now, as you can see, we've got the fault indication on the zones apart the internal speaker, and that's the main part of the zone manager. Not only that you can select and activate the functions which we discussed before. So I select the zone, and now I'm able to, let's say, start the message. So in all zones, I can let's say play message 1, yeah, to the system, and then you've got the indication that the message is playing to those zones in both views, yeah, because that view as well shows you that information. Or you can even, by selecting one click, just stop this audio from the system. So the start and stop. The start-stop is dedicated mostly for the internal activation of the internal messages within the system. While the multicast is designed actually for adding as many files to the system, placing in the queue, setting up the number of the, let's say, repeats, and just hit steer stream. So you've got the indication to which zones we are playing and the status if those zones are receiving this multicast from the system. So that's the single action which you can activate by selecting the zone, and then multicast, TTS, start or stop audio, or live, even the live. But I will show you that later on. You can use that functionality as well in form of the scheduler. So that could happen automatically in the given time. Live speaking, this is one of the main basis of that software. So it allows you to change any of the PC or Android device to the virtual microphone station. So obviously, if you've got the multiple sources, you have to choose from the microphone source. I've got my Bluetooth headset right now activated. You see that the level is receiving, so that will be transmitted. System automatically allocated the multicast virtual input, which is assigned as a route of that audio to the system. Obviously, we can choose the chime or not. Yeah, so let's deactivate the chime. And when you hit start, you've got a streaming connection and once again the status of the zones which are receiving the audio. So because I route the audio to the internal speaker of the minivest which is next to me, I'm getting the loop connection, the feedback basically between my microphone and and the speaker, integrated speaker in the minibus. Anyway, that's how the live the live speak works. So that's the main area of the system when we are talking about the activation of the function. Just remember that this view, it gives you exactly the same functionality. From the user perspective, you may use as well the virtual inputs. The virtual inputs as well, you can rearrange. So you can create, let's say, matrix of the activation points. It's your, let's say, keys. So each user after login can have a different sets of the virtual inputs available. And the advantage of that function or the virtual input is that it has the refresh mode. So if anything is changing in the system, the statuses of the alarm modes or virtual inputs are changing automatically as well. And the same with the virtual output. So I activated the virtual input, which is now on, so it's activated. I can see on the front of the on the front panel the alarm mode is activated, and on the virtual outputs, which as well can be rearranged, I can see that the system has general error. So that's what's programmed, because it has the impedance faults, and so that's activated, and alarm mode acknowledge is on as well, because I just activated that on the virtual input. So as you can see, then the feedback was received from the system to the VESdirector and disactivate alarm mode itself. Obviously, those elements like a zone manager, virtual inputs, output faults, virtual microphones, and so on, they are fully configurable in terms of access per user. Yeah. The other feature is fetching the faults. So imagine you are on site and the PC, or you've got the Android device which is connected to the system wireless. You are able to see the status of the system, seeing what type of the error we've got. We've got the speaker line impedance error, and the microphone is not connected because it's not present over here. So the system, it just presents you the list of the faults. So as you can see, some of the faults are presented as well over here, because each of the zone has the impedance fault at the zone manager. So this part of the software can be replaced, let's say, or added as an additional functionality in form of the virtual microphone. So in the virtual microphone, you just edit the microphone and you add either single zone or groups available in the system. For example, I can add, let's say, the microphone, the zone 1. I will add the label zone 1, and I will add internal speaker, And once again, I will add the entire group, all zones, which is all zones. Plus, I can add activation points. So that's why the virtual input, this is like, it's the same like adding the key on the, assigning the function to the key available on the DMS or DMS LCD. So instead of adding the function, we are adding the virtual input. So let's say I would like to have the alarm mode activation. And let's test. Okay. And I will add one more extension just for the sake of presentation. And the same thing. If I have a zone, for example, zone 1, zone 2, and I hit a run, I've got access to all the functions which are available in the zone manager, which are audio files, streaming, multicast, text to speech. So for example, the text to speech, I will just copy paste text. So as you can see, once again, system choose the right multicast connection.
Pardon?
Yes. Then you've got you have to choose the language which the text to speech will be generated from. This setting is remembered. So, for example, we would like to have English with certain volume. You generate the message and hit start, and then system confirms that it's playing to both zones and plays text to speech into the systems, to the selected zones. And you can do exactly the same way in all those languages from the list. For the challenging acoustic places, we recommend to use the slow speech. So the text to speech will be generated in the smaller pace, basically. So all that functionality works exactly in the same way as a zone manager, but in the structure of the microphone itself, including the functions. So if you would like to, and the same thing, you just in the system, in our system, we call it dynamic matricing. So dynamic matricing is selecting the zone and the source. So the same logic is implemented over here. If you would like to play any message or audio to selected zones, you have to select first and hit run to activate text to speech, live, and so on. If you would like to activate any function in the system, you just hit activation mode. The alarm mode is activated. So let's say in that case, evacuation is available, is activated, and you've got that confirmed in the virtual output status. If I disconnect that, you've got the alarm mode off. This feature is not only for user experience to activate any function in the system, but we find it very useful for servicing or any interaction with the system as well. Let test or any function in the system, you see the information that's activated and the status changes in terms of the column. Scheduler. Scheduler is a unique feature available, so you can easily create as many of the scheduler actions you want. The system, the VESdirector can, it has the option when you close the application, it works in the as a let's say in the shadow, as in the background. So why? Because it has to run the schedules. So that's why you can choose if you close the VESdirector or just operate in the background to maintain all the schedule actions. How to define the schedule? Just hit new schedule, for example, test. You pick up the time, which is right now 10:54 for 54 without Saturday and Sunday, and you add actions. So, for example, text-to-speech. I would like to have a text-to-speech to internal speaker. Let's go English. I will type English. Once, generate, save. In the same way, I would like to have, after 5 seconds, I would like to have, let's say, Polish text-to-speech announcement, but to different zones. Say Polish, I will copy paste text and play. So it generates before activation point and saves. And that's it. Our schedule is set. One remark: the 10:54 that's the time when the schedule will be activated. However, we've got 15-second delay for the safe activation. So it will be activated not on 10:54, but slightly after. So as you can see, you've got a pop-up message that the schedule is activated, and it follows any action assigned to that scheduler. So now it waits, and then after 5 seconds, we'll activate the schedule in Polish to the different zones. So in that way, you can control and activate as many as this different schedulers as you need. Remember that the virtual input as well is available, so you can any function assigned to virtual input can be activated or deactivated within internally in that scheduler. And obviously, any action which we activated today, it's stored in the history of the VESdirector. But That's the administration, let's say administrator page. Let's create a limited version of VESdirector for user. How to do it? We go to manage users. As you can see, the administrator is added all access. We add user, let's say John, role, let's say user, temporary password, which will be used and displayed during the first login, and then the system will force it. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, create. And now John has access to all elements. Let's change the access and see. We'd like to give only the virtual microphone and the scheduler access, and obviously the project access. This is the folder where that user can get the data from. So only limited access for John in that case. Let's call it. Okay, and that's it. We set up John account. Now we can log out, log in as a John, hit the password, log in, and system automatically force us to change the password. So test 4. Okay, we've got access to the headquarters, and now John have only access to virtual microphone and the scheduler option, of where it can change the schedule of the actions or modify that, and obviously into the history of the activation points of the system. So the system. One more thing. Every time when you do the action, you have to connect to the system. The system is acknowledged that it's connected, and now it fully operates as a job. And that's pretty much it in terms of the VESdirector from my side, from the presentation point of view of the software. I really encourage you to go to the ambitsystem.eu website, download the installation point, the installation files, send me the activation numbers, and we will be able to send you 90 days fully operational with all the functionalities, demo license of the system. Okay.